Yeah, awesome.
So it's recording.
Yeah, it's recording on mine too.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Jim Pagiamtzis, and you're here to watch the Join the Gym show. This is one of my early blabs here, and tonight I'm so excited. I have two guests, one more on his way here shortly, that I'm going to be talking about not just learn, speak, and socialize, but talk about specifically about speaking and monetizing your gifts. So I'm going to go around the horn here. I have to my right, your right is the amazing Dylan Raymond, author of an amazing book, Rucksacks to Briefcase. Below me is Sujit Reddy, another author and speaker. All these three gentlemen have one thing in common with me. We're all in the Public Speakers Association here in North America. So I'll lead off with myself here. Again, we got one gentleman I'm going to be accepting here. His name is Justin O'Donnell. He's going to be joining us very soon, so please excuse our thing, but we got four of us going to. I went big here today, so I want to get four of us here today. So my name is Jim Pagiamtzis. I'm the founder of 21 Connections. What I do is learn, speak, and socialize with proven strategies that work. Oh, there's Justin O'Donnell. So, I'm a writer. I've written a book called Get Connected in the 21st Century. I'm a speaker, and I do work with constant contact in social media. In short, that's me. I like to Dylan to introduce himself next, and I'll get Justin going. So go ahead, Dylan. You're next.
Yes, hi. My name is Dylan Raymond. I am what we call the MITCT, military to civilian transition expert. Primarily, my passion is to be able to serve, educate, and mentor our service members and how to make that transition from military to civilian or military to entrepreneurship. I'm published author of Rucksack to Briefcase. And me being an author myself, struggled through the transition is one of the things that gave me the passion to now give back in that space. I'm also a Fortune 500 recruiter. So I'm actually sitting in that space. I bring corporate America together, business with our military service members, and I break it down to ensure that they understand each other in a very simplistic format. So
excellent.
That's a little bit about me.
Excellent. All right. So now we have Justin O'Donnell who's just joined us. Can you hear?
Yeah, can you hear me?
So, yes, I can. So why don't you just introduce yourself just for about a minute or so, and we'll get Sujit here in a second.
Okay, thank you. My name is Justin O'Donnell. I've been working as a professional speaker with my organization, Blue Chip Consulting Services, for about 2 years now. And I've been involved with the Public Speakers Association and more recently the Career Speakers Academy. And I've also been involved actively with Toastmasters International for about 11 years, and I received my Distinguished Toastmasters designation about, it's almost hard to believe, over a year ago.
Excellent. Excellent. So we have some people joining us. Thanks, Vanessa Bonolo, for admiring Justin's flags. So Sujit, can you go ahead and share? I know it says only audio here for some reason. Can you go ahead and share? Sujit, can you hear us? Oh, we're having some challenges there. Okay, so we'll let Sujit get back in there. So what we're going to do with this show, we're going to keep it kind of tight here. We're going to keep it about 30 minutes or so. We lost Sujit. So hold on, let me get him back in here. That's okay. New technologies here. It's okay. So, okay, Sujit, there you go.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, I can. So go ahead.
Awesome. So it's
okay. So
here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my name is Sujit K. Reddy. I'm an empowerment speaker, coach, and author. My company, you can see behind me, is Human Capital Solutions. I guess you can see. There it is. And yeah, I mean, it's great to be here and share and join in. So fantastic.
Excellent. So we got all these four good-looking guys here tonight. So it's the men's show tonight here, but we'll get some women here in future shows. So one of the reasons I want to get all these guys is all these gentlemen are actually amazing. They have great expertise in different areas. And part of 21 Connections and my ability of the past 5 years or so is to interview amazing people. I've had a chance to meet every single one of these gentlemen. I've got the chance to meet Dylan Raymond in San Antonio. Last year in June, we had an amazing 3 days together with about 100 other speakers. Sujeet's here in Toronto, and Justin O'Donnell, we've connected on Skype. We've met many times here in the past couple of months. So my first question, so I want everybody, I'll ask a question, and then we'll give everybody about, 3-4 minutes to answer, and then we'll just keep going around the horn. I just want to try something different. So we'll start with you, Dylan. Tell us a little bit about, I know you wrote the book about an amazing book. Can you give us a little bit of insights of why you wrote the book and the scope of what's happened since then you started writing it?
Yeah, I can do that. Thanks a lot, Jim. Well, just originally what happened is me being a service member as well. I had a lot of experience. I started out initially as a young private E1 and worked my way up, accelerated through the ranks, and deployed to Iraq in 2004. Came back 2005, and it was time for me to transition from my service and return back to the civilian world. But being that was all I knew, I had people that told me, "Hey, you really need a resume." I said, "A resume? What is that?" I'm used to actually doing work, having people evaluate my work, and then put me to work from there. So it was a very difficult time for me to try to figure out. It was almost foreign to identify what corporate America was asking for. So I ended up being unemployed for 4 months. Very painful experience as a man leading a family, wife and children, and having even to go back at home with my mother was a very humbling experience for me. So this is a great topic here. I had an opportunity to connect with some individuals in the Houston area that kind of helped me shape it, put me in direction to help me, navigate that transition process. So selfishly, I had the idea to write the book, and that was actually my standard operating procedures, because I vowed that would never happen again, and I would be caught out without knowing how to make that transition. And I realized that it wasn't just me that was experiencing this difficulty. And as a result, it turned into me being the assigned expert to help service members. So I do that on a day-to-day basis, helping them understand what they bring to the table, more and down to a Rosetta Stone simplicity, so they can package it and deliver it to the businesses.
Excellent, thank you. So Justin, you have again a wealth of experience in speaking for many years in various topics. So do you want to share a little bit of how you got into speaking and how many difference it's made in your journey and things that you've done? And I know you were in Toronto on the weekend here for a conference. We didn't have a chance to meet, unfortunately, but tell us a little bit about your journey in speaking, what you've done here in the past number of years.
Well, sure. By background, I'm a librarian, and I did a fair amount of public speaking in that regards, specifically teaching information library sessions to users of university libraries. Now, I never had a problem with public speaking per se, but when I was approached by a friend of mine who was in Toastmasters, he suggested that I might want to try to vary my approach to speaking, because what goes over well for a lecture topic in a library wouldn't necessarily go over well if I was giving a toast for a wedding, or if I had to make a corporate training presentation. So I joined Toastmasters, and that really began my journey, because it started giving me challenging assignments and forcing me to stretch myself in ways I didn't think possible. And the library jobs dried up during my time in Toastmasters. I did go into financial services for a while. I found I was okay in it, but the more I did Toastmasters, the more I realized, my real passion isn't speaking. And that's what eventually, around my 8th or 9th year, I finally just decided, I would really like to do this full time. I think I could do this as a career. And I embarked on it 2 years ago. I registered a sole proprietorship on the name Blue Chip Consulting, and I've managed to get some speaking opportunities. I've done a bit of corporate training. I've done a bit of motivational speaking, inspirational speaking. And I've done a few other interviews as well on YouTube for individuals. So I've really done a fair variety, and I'm looking forward to doing so much more as time goes by.
Excellent, thank you. So, Sujit, go ahead, tell us a little bit about your journey. Obviously you've been speaking here. You've had an interesting career. Go ahead and share.
Sure, great. So my journey started. I was in corporate HR. I've worked for 3 of the 5 big Canadian banks. And from there, I started my journey. I started exploring the idea of entrepreneurship when I was in about 2005 and didn't really pick it up until about 2008 again. And so from there, took a few years and kind of really formalized what I wanted to do. And in 2011 is when I launched Human Capital Solutions. So I'm now an empowerment speaker, empowerment coach, and I do some writing as well, and going to be having a book coming out by the end of this year. Going to be doing some really cool speaking with some pretty cool people on stages and stuff this year. So a lot of good things are happening for this year. And it's all about my motto of keep pushing and just empowering others to empower themselves.
Excellent.
So,
yeah. So as you see, ladies and gentlemen, all these 3 gentlemen have a very types of expertise, and this is what excites me because everyone has different perspectives on what they do and how they interact with people. And interact with people. There's a little bit of background noise. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's okay. So my next question, as we really delve into this conversation, is each of you gentlemen, can you share a little bit of insights on the power of speaking, not just speaking, but being able to share and becoming that individual who people want to learn from? So part of the Learn, Speak, Socialize is not being a great disciplined speaker, but people learning from you, whatever that area is. So I've done some dual talks with Sujit here on interview skills at local colleges and universities here. But all you gentlemen have different areas. So do you want to, I'll start with Don again, is obviously you've written this great book. I had a chance to read it, and you really go in deep about not just resumes and how someone from the military can transition into the working world, but ability for people to really get results from it. So can you share some of your experiences from not just writing the book, but teaching about it and moving forward from there?
Yeah, I can. I guess I got to say, especially this last 2.5 years, I've been around the country. I've been to bases from coast to coast, California, Texas, Kentucky, North Carolina, for East Coast. And I realized that more than 95% of our service members just don't have that knack, or they don't have the skill set to transit. I'm talking about from enlisted to officers to some of the best and the best that we bring into the military. And I realize that in order to meet somebody, you have to understand them from where they're at. Once you understand and connect from where they're at, I'll give an example. I had a captain that I spoke to. He said he had 45 different formats of his resume. I said, sir, that is a full-time job. So I use the example of, all right, sir, that's like you getting on with your weapon, get on the range, you zero the weapon, you go to qualify, you don't qualify, and then you ask for another weapon. So the lesson learned there, the takeaway was that it's not the weapon, it's the fundamentals. So you need to understand what you bring to the table, take inventory of what you bring to the table. And it doesn't have, the I's don't have to be dotted, the T don't have to be crossed. So a logistician is a logistician. A mechanic is a mechanic. An infantry person is strategic. They analyze, they look at trend analysis. So when I talk to them, the service members, and I hear the change in their voice, like I got it, or you see the body language just stand erect because of the confidence that they understand clearly what I'm saying. So I always feel like I'm in that coaching posture to be able to have their ear and be able to direct them in a direction that they're comfortable with, but not. And what I do is challenge them to not come with a spirit of expectation, but to take that stuff that they've already learned and deliver it so that the company will know that you add value.
Excellent. No, that's a powerful thing. And again, you share some amazing insights in the book on how you do it. But again, a great example. Suji, you're next. I mean, you spend time in the HR industry. I have done some seminars with you where we go through interview questions. We had a funny, not actually funny, but a great situation at a local college a few months ago where we used a garbage can as a table. It's kind of quite hilarious there. But, Suji and I are both great networkers. So you want to dive in a little bit about conversation and how people handle themselves during interviews and how they should be a little more confident when they're getting interviewed by people, by employers. Can you hear me, Sujit?
Looks like he's got a poor internet signal.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Sujit? No. Okay. So while he's figuring that up there, no, he can't hear us. So Justin,
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. So, want to share some? Can you share some insights as far as the HR philosophy of individuals, say, going into interviews, that they shouldn't be scared; they should be confident in having a conversation with their employer?
Absolutely. So, I always tell people that who are nervous or scared about interviews is that go in with the confidence that, listen, you are the best person to know about you. You are your own expert. So there's no real reason to be nervous. The interviewer doesn't know every single thing about you, and your resume is only what gets you through the door. You just put enough on your resume, in my opinion, to get yourself through the door. Don't put your whole life story. You don't need 56 different resumes like Dylan pointed out. You only need like one or maybe two, depending upon what your skill sets are. So in terms of that, that's where you don't need to be nervous because you let them know about you. That's what the key is.
Excellent. No, again, this is the insights we need. So Justin,
yes,
we're gonna switch over here now to speaking, but leveraging it to start monetizing it. So you actually just started, you said a number of years ago, and registered a company and so forth. Can you talk a little bit about the journey of not just speaking, but going out there and finding opportunities to speak and how you've done? Because I'll share a little bit about that as far as my experience. But can you lead that conversation moving forward,
Sure.
please?
Well, what you're going to have to do, if you are serious about being a professional speaker, you're going to have to accept right at the get-go that you are going to have to do a fair amount of pro bono work. I mean, they're not going to be coming to you with $1 million check unless you happen to be like a former United States president or some other high-profile celebrity. That's just not going to happen. So what I have done is I've had to get a bit innovative in terms of who I speak with. I've had to take opportunities to promote myself with local Rotary groups. I have done some unique speaking. I've done the Career Speakers Academy, the Public Speakers Association. I've participated in some of their virtual summits, which is a very unique experience because you are participating virtually, but you don't see the audience per se in one of those, and that can be it can be a bit of a step outside your comfort zone because you're not necessarily able to gauge audience reaction. But I still think it's a great experience. I've managed to do that. I've managed to give corporate training sessions for some nonprofit organizations as well. I've contacted them in the areas. It's really just getting out there. You have to be willing to join networking groups, and you have to be prepared to advertise yourself. I would recommend setting up a website, definitely, and I would recommend preparing a resume and preparing maybe 2 or 3 and tailoring the objectives to the employers. That's important. I mean, you can have a standard one, which is fine to get yourself in the door for, just say, generic jobs. But if you are after a very specific speaking opportunity or related work, you have to tailor it, specifically the objective, the statement, because that's your 1 to 2 minute opportunity to really, make an impression in the minds of the readers.
Excellent. So as I continue the conversation, feel free, everyone, all the gentlemen here, to put your information as to where people can reach you in the comment bar on the bottom right, your website, ways that people can connect with you, because, again, Blab is about not just having a conversation like we are right now. It's about people being able to reach out with you on Twitter, Facebook, find you on other social networks. So please put your information there as to where people can find you. So while you gentlemen keep doing that, I'll tell you a bit of my story. I started writing in about 2007, and what I did is I just wrote 3 articles. And then I went all around the city of Toronto here, leveraged them, and started getting some paid opportunities. And I didn't know any different. I just did it. And fast forward, I put the articles together into a book format. It's been online for many years. And I continue to write on and off here. But the goal is you have something to leverage. You have to have just an article or a little ebook to leverage. And I've been a master at this, and I still do it really well to get opportunities, because I have organizers. Just a few days ago, an organizer wants me to speak at a government building here, a government organization, and sent us information of talks that I've done and videos that I've done on networking and LinkedIn and those type of topics. But at the end of the day, you have to go out and do it, no matter what expertise it is, from what Dylan talks about, Justin, or Sujit. You have to go out there. So the back end of this talk now is a little bit about the commonalities of all of us have here. So a couple of years ago, I joined the Public Speakers Association. The CEO and founder is Tanya Hoffman. And so I'm running a chapter here. We have one in Hamilton. We have chapters all over the United States. And all these 4 gentlemen have done amazing work with the PSA. Some come to events, others do virtual summits. The platform allows you a really 360-degree opportunity to plug in where you want to plug in. It's totally amazing. So I just want to go around the horn here and get everyone's feedback, comments on what it's meant to be part of an association and using that as leverage for your business or for your profile. So, Sujit, do you want to start this and tell her about your journey, what's meant for you moving forward?
Sure, absolutely, Jim. So I've been a part of the Public Speakers Association for a couple of years now, and I think I value the community, the camaraderie that it brings, to know that there are speakers out there like me, and we're all we're all on different spectrums of that speaking journey, and to be able to learn and grow from one another, tricks and tips and all that good stuff, and to have that structure and format and the platforms that an association like this provides, like the opportunities, the different tools and online profiles and the whole gambit. So it's really it's been an amazing experience, and it's been really good support to be able to have that.
So you've done, and how about go a little deeper? You've done a lot of speaking here. You've gone to schools. You've done a lot of speaking. Can you share a little bit about that? The last 6-7 months, you've been around. You've done a lot of speaking all over Ontario here.
Sure. So I mean, as my profile has been risen by the Public Speakers Association, and through a little bit of hard work through various social media platforms and such, and it's all about getting out there and not holding your gift in, as it were, And I think a lot of speakers, when they first start out and they're, wanting to do this, I'm actually mentoring a speaker now. She's in that transition phase of being in the 9-to-5 world and getting into the speaking world, but she's still wanting to hold on to that 9-to-5 and not wanting to give it that go. So, trying to coach her through that. I kind of remember where I was when I first started that transition as well. So I've had great experiences. I've spoken in a little town called Bradford, Ontario. Went and spoke out about accessibility and disability out there. That city is trying to formalize their own, laws and such around accessibility and disability. So it was really cool to give them my insights out there. I've spoken at various high schools, and going to be doing some interesting stuff in the coming weeks with a few high schools as well around empowerment. So absolutely, yeah. It's all about that profile. It's all about getting it out there and and being seen.
Excellent. No, it's great. And again, Suji and I are here in the same city, so we get to see each other. We have actually a big meeting tomorrow with a couple other amazing individuals planning a big event here in a few months, and details will be coming out soon. My story is the same as, I've been speaking for a while, but during the PSA really brought more concreteness for me. And I was Suji this afternoon. I'm actually doing a speaking for a private school starting in March here in Toronto. I actually put down a course together. I sat down in front of a computer, put the course together, which is quite amazing. But I spoke to the president on the weekend. She's so excited. We got this flyer going out, and again, it's putting that value towards what I do. And because I ran the PSA and because Justin and I are running the Career Speakers Academy, that gave me huge leverage. She didn't even think about going anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen. She found me, she sought me out, we sat down, we got it done. She goes, she's so excited. So again, got to go from there. So I'm going to switch over to Dylan. Now, Dylan Raymond is interesting because I went to this conference, Dylan and I, we're rooming together. So I got to learn all about what he did and his history and what he's done. And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you don't know who we got here. It's just an amazing what he's done in his life. And it was just such great memories I'm going to hold for that 4 days. But do you want to talk a little bit about what it's meant for you? Because I know you do a little traveling here in the United States, Dylan, about with your book and what you've done. Can you share a little bit about what's meant for you in the past number of years moving forward with the PSA?
Yeah, well, I tell you, just being on this blab tonight is an example, and it is a return on investment. Meeting you this past summer, last year I said I just actually made a year in PSA, and I ran into Tanya a couple of years ago, but the timing just wasn't right. I wasn't there, had some other things going on. But the fact is, unbelievable how PSA, the platform, I mean, you have the teleseminars, which I take advantage of every single one. I probably missed 1 or 2 months. But, I mean, she already had the platform in place. She had the audience in place. So she recorded, so those things are just great opportunities to give us exposure as speakers. And even last year, when you talk about making a connection, quite honestly, for the PSA conference, I was originally going to get my own room, but that defeats the purpose of networking. And I'm so glad that I had an opportunity to spend some time with you there. I mean, because it's all about relationships. It's all about developing a relationship, putting that seed in the ground, cultivating it, getting it in some sunshine, adding water, and you can continue to multiply and just build some fruit on that. So it's been absolutely fantastic opportunity, and to be able to have Tanya Hoffman, the most fun person to be around, accessible person. You text her, she texting you back, she calling you back. She is responsive. So a phenomenal organization, and when we at the end when we all got together, just that opportunity just to really connect with individuals across the table that you didn't know. It's really it's a great opportunity. I'm glad I got involved in it, and I met some incredible people that's helping me. I mean, we can partner. In fact, I'm going to be reaching out to Suji now. I know he's an HR professional. We need to be doing some HR.
And this is all about, and again, this is about the platform where you can plug in. I thank you for mentioning, Dylan, about being able to just plug in. We have teleseminars, we have virtual summits, we have collaboration circles, and this is about collaboration. I love you and Sujit to get together. Two of you gentlemen have been on my radio show already. Justin, definitely we can. I'm going to be on Justin's Blab on Friday, but we'll mention that at the end. Remind me to mention it at the end, please, Justin, about that. So, again, it's all about collaboration, and I have to tell you, that's where the magic happens, ladies and gentlemen. This is collaborating. These 4 gentlemen you have to know. I'm telling you, well, a few gentlemen, I won't include myself, but you have to know. Well, me too.
Jim's talking in third person about himself again.
Yeah, but Tanya Hoffman, I have to say, I had a chance to meet her last year, but I spoke to her by Skype. Yes.
There's a great question in the comments by Phil. We Power One.
Okay, so to answer that question, you go to publicspeakersassociation.com. If one of you guys want to type the website, website.
I got it.
Type it in there, and then you can find, and you go under chapters. You're welcome, Phil. You can go find local chapters in your area. If you don't find a local chapter in the area, then reach out to Tanya, and we'll make something happen. We'll get you on we have a global virtual summit we run once a month. And worst case scenario, you can email me, and then we'll forward it to Tanya and get you started there. All right? Yes, we have a global virtual summits we run once a month for people if there's no chapter near where you live. So, Justin,
Yes.
Let's roll into a little bit now. So Justin and I we launched the Career Speaker Academy here with Tanya a few months ago. So Justin and I will be running 2-day seminars here starting this in this year. Can you talk about not just the Career Speaker Academy, but you have obviously been teaching and speaking and training in that area. Can you talk about the advantage of getting to that area and leveraging that? Because obviously every speaker wants to get to that point. You want to talk about that part of your journey and moving forward?
Yes, the Career Speakers Academy, I think, would be an excellent opportunity for any professional speaker. And I want to make a clarification now. What the Career Speakers Academy, what their mission is not so much to improve speaking skills. We're already operating on the assumption that the students who are attending this workshop are already professional speakers or are speaking as a major component of their current positions. What we aim to do is we're trying to help you parlay your success as a professional speaker in terms of how to market yourself, how to brand yourself, how to access social media, how to network. It is what I like to call, my little nickname for it is the quick, dirty little MBA into the speaking professional world. It is,
Yes.
both myself and Jim had to take the course virtually in order to qualify as instructors, and I can honestly tell you, I wish that this had been available to me 2 years ago, because I have made a number of mistakes, which I think makes me uniquely qualified to be an instructor, because I can tell everyone what not to do. I know through trial and error. So, yes. But also, it's I think very important that you understand what you're getting into, because anyone can go. They can go through a program, say like Toastmasters or Dale Carnegie or CAPS, the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers, and those are great groups, but to help you develop your speaking skills. But unless you know how to approach the market, unless you know how to function, how to present yourself as a professional speaker, your skills are going to be wasted pretty much.
Yes, and I thank you for sharing first. So all I can add is that I took the course. It's 100 pages, 2 days. The thing is, you can take the course online. You can take the course offline. You can take it multiple times if you want. We're allowing a lot of flexibility here this year regarding the course. And I have to agree with Justin. We want to show how to do it right. And the course talks about this, about doing your own TV shows, and then how do you leverage that? How to take advantage of Periscope and speaker one sheet. So you may have done a few of these. Like when I did the course, I did a few of them, but a few things I had not done, and I got busy getting a few things done. So definitely, reach out to the website. I'll put my information at the end. So in closing, before we're rounding second base here, getting to third base here, I know Mr. Sports got here tonight, but I want to throw it back to Sujit. So one of the most important things that I speak to a lot of professionals and speakers, and I probably have mentioned it to all three of you gentlemen here in some way, is that I think that everyone has the ability to not just to talk, but to speak on their expertise, no matter what it is. Can you give us your insights, how important it is now? We're in 2016, we're like 10 days in, and this is the opportunity now, like now to do it and not wait, to get into the speaking world, the speaking platform. Do you want to talk about that, Sujit, first?
Sure. From what I'm seeing and what I've seen, the speaking industry is growing, and it's growing exponentially. You've got speakers from all different walks of life. You got speakers from all different backgrounds with all different kinds of knowledge, and the ability to speak. It may seem very trivial, but it's not. It's something it is a skill. It is a talent. Some people, are born with it. Some people need a little bit of polishing. And I mean, either way, I think back to what we said, joining some sort of community, some sort of organization is hugely helpful, because then it's not all about you. You realize it's about other people, and you're sharing your gift with your audience and being able to polish that gift. We all perceive and think of things in different ways, and we all can learn from each other in terms of different ways of doing things. There's not only just one way of approaching something. There's different ways to do it. And, I might have an idea for any one of you, or any one of you might have an idea for me. But until we kind of connect and collaborate, we don't know that, right? So getting into speaking now, I would say is a good thing. Even if you are in the 9-to-5 world, being able to communicate better with your employees, especially if you're just starting and you're fresh out of high school, university, college, and getting into that work world, if you can communicate more effectively and efficiently, you will be able to rise in that organization a lot better.
Excellent. So, Darlin, you're next. I mean, you have again, a very amazing background in the military and what you've done, and you shared some insights with us already. Can you give us your insights, your perspective on now with not just your book, you've done a fair amount of speaking here all over the United States. What are your thoughts about speaking here in 2016 and beyond?
Well, I tell you, it's one of those things that I was just talking about that the other day. There are three types of people. You got people that's in the game, just kind of there. You got people that's watching the game and don't know the game is being played. And like Suji said, it's about effectively communicating. Even with me, in my current role, I'm the only military individual within the HR department. So I need to be able to read, write, and speak, corporate speak. So I take my military background and experience, put it within a funnel, understanding the audience that I'm speaking to, because at the end of the day, I need to have delivery. I need to be able to connect with individuals who's introverted, who's extroverted. So that skill set that you pick up, and I must say I was a drill instructor during my military career.
I've seen the picture.
Yeah, it's my before people skills picture. Wife had to wake me up quickly and say, "Hey, I'm not in the military."
That's a picture. Let me tell you, that's a picture.
And I tried, and then I went from a drill sergeant to recruiting. So I had to learn the people skills. So it's important now. Most people, they use electronics to communicate, but really nothing happens until you have that face-to-face conversation. You need to be able to understand the needs of the individual that you're talking to. So it's one of those things that you really don't want to miss out. And that's one of the things I love about the PSA. It's two rules. You got to have fun, and you don't have to be perfect. So that's good. So I can say a lot of ums, but at the end of the day, if I get the north and south, and I see the light bulbs of the audience go on, that is what excites me. That is when somebody come up at the end of the day and talk to you and say, something, Dylan, man, something you said really just clicked in me. So, I mean, it's something, if you even thinking about it, or you thought about it in 2015, now is the time to do something about it and execute. So I think it's one of those things that you can change and impact the world immediately based on your story. Somebody can benefit from your story.
Excellent. So well said. I mean, our motto with the PSA is change the world from the front of the room. And we all have the ability to do that. And that's why I like hearing everyone's perspectives, such powerful stories from everybody. Justin, you're next. What are your thoughts? Again, I know you and I are going to head up the Speakers Academy here in Toronto. But in general, what do you think about moving forward? What are your insights, expertise around speaking and moving 2016 and beyond?
Well, my insights, one of the things actually that I learned through doing the Career Speakers Academy, what I would encourage everyone to do is if you're serious about speaking, whether on a full or part-time basis, gain a following. Best way to gain a following is either to start your own blab show, which is what we're doing right now, or a free blog radio. And I tend to practice what I preach. So on this Friday, I'm actually launching my own Blab TV show. It's going to be focusing on science fiction, and actually Jim is going to be one of the panelists. We're going to be our first episode is going to be on the latest Star Wars movie, and we're going to. I
got my DVDs ready.
Yeah, and I do give warning to anyone who wants to drop in and listen. You're welcome to it, but there will be spoilers discussed. So if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want it ruined, maybe you shouldn't tune in. So that's the only warning.
That's good. Oh, that's good.
But no, basically, if you're, it's what the message I'm trying to impart is, you can take all the training you want in terms of marketing yourself and in terms of improving your speaking skills. That's fine, but you've got to be willing to apply it. You have to practice what you preach, basically. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the skills that I've learned, and I'm also learning from the mistakes I've done, and I'm synthesizing the experiences I've had. And I think that as a result, I'm going to be able to move forward in a totally new direction this year. You have to be willing to learn from your errors, and you have to be willing to apply new information that you learn. You have to be willing to be a learner. You have to acknowledge you don't know everything in this field to begin with. I think a lot of professional speakers make that mistake. They figure, well, okay, I'm the best speaker around. I'm a platinum level speaker. What else do I need to know? Well, a ton. A ton.
All right. Well, I'll share a little secret. So BB-8 might even make it into the show. There is my little BB-8 there, but I'll take that away right now. So again,
I missed it.
A little slight there. So as we come near the end of the show, first of all, I'd like to thank Diane Raymond, Sujit Reddy, Justin O'Donnell for being my amazing guest here tonight. I put this show on about 2 weeks ago. I've been emailing all these gentlemen here this morning, everything already. We had some technical difficulties, but again, we are pushing forward. And part of what I want to leave this end of this show is this. For myself, and I'm going to ask everybody's perspectives. I'm going to speak here for about 2 minutes, and I'll leave you information. I want everybody to do the same, and then we'll call it a night. So for me, the main thing I've realized in my journey is I spoke with Constant Contact for a couple of years, from 2012 to 2014. I spoke about 15 to 20 times a month all over Ontario, and I thought that was my 10,000 hours. And what I realized, it wasn't even close. And I don't know if it was Suji, but or someone in the PSA kind of set me straight one day, early in my PSA days. And it wasn't what they said, is how they reacted when I started saying that. And I wasn't saying it to showboat. I was saying it because I was proud of it. But let me tell you, what I've learned in 2 years is that that's okay to share, but sometimes you have to be careful how you frame things. So what I've done is that I know that I've had some success in speaking, but I want people to understand that they can do it too. And do you speak 30 times a month? Probably not. But you can find yourself and speak 4 or 5 times a month. It's very realistic. So I had to refrain from me. I blew a lot of people out indirectly in the beginning. But again, I was willing to listen. I was willing to understand my PSA members, and I reformed it. And I think I told Sujit this about a year ago, where I changed my my membership closed. And Sujit said, I didn't notice anything different. I'm like, oh, I changed it all right. And I told him what I did. And he says, oh, I see what you're saying. But again, for me, at the end, the PSA is about community. It's a community of amazing individuals. And it's not about Jim. Yes, in the beginning, oh, yeah, who, me? That's not what it is about. There's people here out here. There's Zishan Raza. There's Regina Neal. There's Mark Burge. Kevin DeSouza, Romeo Vitelli, a PhD on our team here. There's a lot of people who are not here. Tanya Hoffman and so many others. We're just a small representation of people who are going and making it happen. So you can reach me again on jimpagiamtzis.ca if you want to learn more about me or about the PSA, www Public Speakers Association. I'll type it in the bottom. So we'll go to Sujit next with your closing, Sujit.
Sure. Hi, guys. So I'm Sujit K. Reddy. You can find me on all kinds of social media platforms. My website is www.humancapitalsolutions.co, and all of my social media links are there. So please do reach out to me. Any questions, any ideas, anything I can help you out with, please let me know. I'm here for you.
You want to talk about your book, Sujit? We didn't talk about the compilation book you wrote. Do you want to mention that a little bit?
Sure. I'm actually in a book. It's also on my website. It was a collaborative effort. 30 Stories to Heal Your World, Living Without Limitations. That came out, I think, the beginning of last year now, or maybe the end of 2014. But I am working on another book that's coming soon. And like I said, there's going to be a few opportunities here where I'll be speaking with a fairly big name. I can't reveal who that is just yet.
Not yet. Don't say it.
Only because we haven't dotted the I's and crossed the T's as yet.
Dot the I's and cross the T's.
There we go. So that's going to happen this year in Toronto and in Vancouver. So we're going to provide him with a mini kind of tour of Canada because he's never been here, which is exciting. So there's that. So yeah, and there's a few other opportunities. Just again, follow me along here in Blab, Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Yeah, let's connect. Awesome.
Excellent. Justin, you're next.
Okay, just want to, before I sign off, just reiterate, I'm Justin O'Donnell, and I can be reached at my website, www.bluechip.ca. I am looking forward to hearing from you, anyone who participated in this panel discussion tonight. If you want to talk to me about professional speaking or just want to call and say hello and just want to chat, that's fine too. You know, I think it's important, and I think Jim makes a very good point that we are here to network and we're here to learn from each other. I think that is, in many ways, just as important as going out and getting speaking gigs, because in the end, it's all about we all have gifts that we can share with each other, and I think it's important to impart the very best that we can to each other as well. So,
excellent. And Diane Raymond, go ahead.
All right. Again, I want to show you a copy of my book. It's Rucksack to Briefcase, and it's a transition guide for service members and their families. And I want to thank Jim because Jim actually read it and did a great review on it. Also, I was a part of a collaborative book, Put Me in Coach, Volume 1, so that was an Amazon bestseller, and that's great. But one of the things that I'll leave you with is the power of networking. And in fact, in my book, that's one of the things that I wrote. I highlighted network or not work. You know, in fact, in most cases, I'd like to be the not so smart person in the room. I like to be the dumbest person in the room because when I leave, I'm going to learn something. You know, and you know, it's okay to be humble. You know, but just connect yourself. I'm honored to be in the presence of these gentlemen here from Canada. I mean, I feel like magnet is just pulling me up to Canada.
You gotta come here, man.
come on down.
It's a little cold right now, but
Come on up.
Come on.
But
You're a military guy. Come on now.
There you go. There you go. But I tell you, whatever it is that you even think of, have been thinking of, the time is to draw the line right now. Make a plan and just leap. Just leap, because the net will appear, and then continue to lean on individuals. I mean, when we, like these four of us, get together, almost like a tree, our roots grow together, and we continue to support one another and be a cheerleader to one another, because ultimately, if each one of us is successful, we'll be successful. So continue to serve, because if you do not serve people that need to hear your story, you are robbing this world of your talent, your skills, and your abilities. And I don't want you to rob them. I want to share in and benefit from those talents. So thank you so much, Jim, for having me on. And it's great to be amongst these gentlemen here tonight. So it's awesome.
Yes, thank you very much. And again, the part of what I do with Twine Connection and Learn, Speak, and Socialize is bring people together. And I want to end it with what Dylan was talking about, networking. That's how I met my mentors. That's how I met new leaders and new people in my life. And you continue to do that, you'll be surprised what will happen to you now and moving forward. I think that there's the opportunity now to leverage Blab and all these internet social platforms is so huge. Like Dylan is the master. I mean, he does powerful periscopes every day. And I'm like, I do mine about 2 times a day. Sujit chimes in there, I think, a couple times a week. But when he goes in, he's on. So, and they're good. They're really good. Yeah. So, but at the end, why I share all this is that we don't have to be there every day blasting away. We can if we want. But at the end of the day is where your message. So my challenge to everyone listening is, what's your message? What are you doing? If the PSA is the answer, the Career Speakers Academy, we'd love to have you. And this is how I end all my meetings, is that we want you to join our community. Our community is great. You've heard little stories from everybody here. And Tanya Hoffman, their CEO, has assembled some great people. But we're out there sharing this every day. So I'd like to personally thank Sujit, Justin, Dylan, for being amazing guests on my show. This all turned out really, really good. Technology thing. And well, one last story is Dylan showed up. He did a Skype to one of our PSA events about 2-3 months ago. Man, we had huge technical issues at the Microsoft store, but you know what? We made it happen. And Dylan says, that's the difference between not just being a professional, but pushing forward and making it happen. So nothing's going to be perfect, and we're all perfectionists here, but we're going to make it happen. So I'm excited about tonight. I look forward to Justin, your show there. And again, this is a great platform, ladies and gentlemen, that it's in beta test right now, but as you see, it's working like a charm here. Thanks to all the guests here. Phil Power, you asked about 10,000 hours. It's a concept by Malcolm Gladwell. And about the Beatles, where they practiced for 10,000 hours at a local club before they got their big break. So that's where the 10,000 hours comes from. So we're going to call it a night. So lastly, Dylan, do you want to have I'm going to try something different here. 2 words of inspiration you want to leave with the crowd. So go ahead, Dylan. 2 words of inspiration. Go ahead.
Start now.
Sujit.
Keep pushing.
Justin.
Get going.
Oh, boy. And mine is get connected. There you go, gentlemen. There you go. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, these guys, for having. And look forward to bringing you future labs about Join the Gym and the community that I can bring you. Thank you very much. Thanks, gentlemen. Until next time, go out there and make it happen. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.